right. I think James Comey has a book out. Anyway, a lot of people are talking about it. He's appeared everywhere. I think he did a one-on-one with Dora the Explorer, which was that one I didn't see coming. Anyway, a lot of people talking about it. Is his credibility, on the mark, not on the mark? Now with his former number two, now saying, well, he lied about him, and the back and forth. Well, I worry enough about how we in the news media cover this, but I need to keep on top of what, well, America's restless young people are thinking about it. So now with kids, let's go right to it. Fox contributor Katherine Timpf is here. We got Your World audio technician Dion Baia, Campus Reform's Cabot Phillips. Love that name, Cabot Phillips. My good man. And the Wall Street Journal's Jillian Melchior. Beautiful names all. All right, so Cabot, on this whole debate, back and forth, to James Comey, obviously, it's a lot of books, but did you believe what he was saying?
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find most young people that are paying attention to this, let alone even believing or not believing what he's saying. I think most young people, they care about paying off student loans, getting a job, taxes. They're not looking at former government employees and their grasp at relevance and thinking, this really impacts my life on a daily basis. And even if they are paying attention, I think they're seeing a lot of hypocrisy. They're seeing a guy that's going, oh, I really hate the limelight. I don't want all these eyes on me. Now let me get on every single TV show and go on every show and get the limelight. He clearly loves it.
I've been reading the book this week, and it's really funny. He's got this part where he's talking about how one of the greatest battles he ever won was against his ego. And I just want the Arrested Development narrator to go, he did not win the battle with his ego. I mean, the book sounds like it was written in gel pen. It's just unintentionally really funny, and I think it's a pretty accurate insight into what's going on in Washington.
But now, young people, by and large, were a Democratic monolith. They voted they're largely liberal. I don't know who you guys are, nor do I care. But they're angry. They don't like the president. And this guy was the guy who had awful things to say about the president. So I would think that a lot of young people would pounce at this and welcome it.
It is pretty boring, though. Did you see? The interviews are boring. I've been watching all the interviews, and not once have I been, wow, I'm so captivated. No, I just say, hey, here's a dude who really wants the spotlight, who really wants to cash in, and I have a prediction. Within the next couple of years, Dancing with the Stars. He'll be on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not a bad move, but I mean, but what do you
I think the segment of the millennials who are listening to this are getting their news from partisan sites, or shows like The Daily Show or the late night shows, and then they are against him and they're against the president. They don't like what they're seeing, so I think they are getting the hoorah.
Well, the whole investigation that's going on, guys, do you pay attention? There was a lot of talk that, everything went full circle with the number one and the number two former FBI guys kind of at each other's throats here, giving different accounts of stories. And then, this idea that maybe this whole thing is out of control, the investigation, where it's going, who's reliable, what.
And it's tough for people who aren't really paying attention to even keep up with the narrative. If someone hasn't really paying attention, they check in every once in a while. A year ago, it's Comey's the absolute worst. We should hate him. He ruined the election for us. He rigged it in Trump's favor. 6 months later, Comey's the best. Now he's going after Trump. He's really sticking it to him. 6 months later, I don't really know what we think about him.
I don't think anybody really cares of this age demographic, and if they do, they're just so done with it. And I think it's just bringing the collective morale of the country down, and we just must be such a laughingstock overseas to just see what are the Americans doing now? They're openly mocking their president. They're mocking their president on TV. It's just,
I don't know. I actually do think people care. It was kind of interesting the night the McCabe thing went down. I was in the grocery store, and it was fascinating watching grocery clerks my age get alerts on their phone and then have a very heated political discussion about it. So I do think people are paying attention.
In the grocery store?
I did. It was
He did go from a hero. They collected a $500,000 legal fund as part of it. Now all of a sudden he's a pariah.
I think what's so sad about this, though, is that it's doing lasting damage to the FBI and to our institutions. And this is a question of law and order.
Yeah. Okay, let me switch gears. Are any of you Prime subscribers are over Amazon?
Oh, yeah. I am their biggest customer.
Yeah, you're like,
all right, so 100 million of you.
Yeah.
100 million. And so Amazon's on fire. It's recouped a lot of its losses when the president was targeting it. What do you think of that? I mean, that it's a juggernaut, but now it's clearly a juggernaut.
It makes perfect sense. I can get paper towel delivered. I can get toilet paper delivered. I can get apples delivered. I can get anything delivered. And You just mentioned having a political discussion in a grocery store. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have any discussions in the grocery store. If a company allows me...
I see around here, you don't like to talk to anyone. So.
I can, you know, I'm actually very social, but I don't like to be social when I'm shopping.
But I mean, the president's been targeting Amazon, taking advantage of, you know, post office workers and all that other stuff and all. But I'm looking at all the...
Well, I think he makes good
they're raising money left and right.
He makes good points about the kind of the dire straits the post office is currently in. But if you look at Amazon,
that's not Amazon's fault.
I know it's not Amazon's fault, but the incentive with Amazon is that some of the stuff like pantry is half off that you go see in the store. It's delivered to your doorstep. You don't have to deal with it.
So I guess what I'm asking you guys then, to that point, then if the president's going after Jeff Bezos, and cynically I think because he also personally owns the Washington Post.
Losing battle.
Yeah, I think it's a battle.
I'm not going to the store for paper towels.
Don't take our beloved Amazon. That's what people are saying. And look, you could tell most young people that Amazon is harvesting, you know, baby seal organs and burning down rainforests, and as long as they get their Prime subscription, they don't really care. This is not a winning battle for the president. It's a dangerous president too. If you care about the free market, you don't want the leader of the free world.
I want to go right to this because sorry to jump in there, Cabot. There was a case of a bad date. I don't know if you heard about this. A man in Indiana sending a woman an itemized invoice for a dinner date after she stopped texting him. Now, the woman posted the invoice to social media, but has since deleted it. Kat, what do you think?
I think that that's absolutely crazy. I've gone out on dates before where guys have paid for stuff and it didn't work out, and that's bananas. But if I were her, I probably would just pay him, because if you're that desperate for $40, then something's really going on in your life.
This guy seems a little creepy.
He seems very, very scary.
Well, I wonder if we only are getting half of the story. If they went on the first date and she said to him, hey, you know what, thanks for getting the first check, I'll get the next one, and then she completely ghosts him, and then maybe he is a little pissed.
It's $40.
It's still money's money.
I don't know. Like, dating is a risk. That shows me that he's risk averse and that he has commitment issues because he's not willing to put some money behind
the collection agency again.
And also control it.
I wish we had more time. Blessedly, we do not. We'll have more after this.